Autocar show. We are here at the 83rd Geneva International Motor Show. It's really the show that kind of brings the auto industry out from hibernation from winter. And how does it manage to do that? Well, with lots and lots of hot new cars and exciting unveils. And there's really a lot in store here. So let's jump right in. Actually, the car started raining down the night before at the Volkswagen Group Night. The group's 7 passenger car brands showcased many exciting new cars. Next day, I found myself itching to get close to one car at the VW store. Now this car here really has the potential to grab headlines in India because it can deliver about 100 kilometers to a litre of diesel. And this isn't just a concept, it's being pushed into production. 250 units are being planned. But actually there's a lot more to that story. It's a technology intensive car and of course it will be expensive. Let's see what all it's got. The XL1 is obsessed with efficiency. Its low stance and smooth design are focused on aerodynamic efficiency. The narrow Michelin tires, the covered rear wheels and cameras instead of rear view mirrors help achieve a drag coefficient that's less than 0.19. You see, most cars struggle to get below the 0.27 mark. The XL1 is also on a strict diet and as a result it weighs less than 800 kilos. You see, the skin of the XL1 is only 1.2 millimeters thin. And like the chassis, the seats are made from carbon fiber. The windows are polycarbonate, the steering assembly weighs a third of a conventional system, and it uses aluminum front and rear structures to help cut the flap. The transverse drivetrain is also made from lightweight alloys, and it's packaged neatly into the rear. So this is kind of a mid-engine car, albeit with only 47 bhp from its 800cc diesel motor. The dual-clutch gearbox also houses the 27 bhp electric motor generator. On just electric power, it can be driven 50 kilometers. And with hybrid power, it can hit a top speed of 160. And when you get home, you can plug it into the wall and top up the batteries. All of this helps the XL1 go 111 kilometers on a litre of diesel. The XL1 is a captivating idea that shines with cutting-edge technology and cunning, which is normally reserved for creating supercars. But instead, it has been used to create a green warrior that's going on sale right now. It will be a star of the Geneva Motor Show and the future, as technology from the XL1 will trickle down to all Volkswagen cars of the future. Next, I headed to a car that will power Skoda's future in India. Now that is a very important name tag in the Indian market. It's almost revered and well, it's ready to make a comeback to the Indian market full blast this year. It's expected to hit Indian showrooms in the second half of this year, probably closer towards Diwali. And well, this is based on an all-new platform, the MQB platform, and well, it's really got a lot of new stuff in it. We're going to take a close look at it to see what to expect. Clearly, the new Octavia looks different. It wears the new Skoda look, which is crisp and stylish. The headlights and taillights look like ornaments. Although it does feel that Volkswagen genes have rubbed off on this Czech car. Nonetheless, it is a handsome machine and will rebuild the Octavia's reputation in every which way. So many things may have changed on the Octavia, but the one thing that the Indians loved about it, that lift back tail, well, it's still there and it still gives you beautiful access to the boot, lots of storage, and of course Skoda are taking things a step further. Here you have this netting on the underside of the parcel tray, which gives you a bit more storage, and here this boot lining here, you can flip it over. You just take it out, turn it up and put it in. Because this is a rubberized boot lining, it's got like that tough feel to it, so if you're throwing in some hard luggage or something really dirty, you can just flip it over and well, the boot's safe that way. Really neat. In terms of size, the new Octavia is larger than the current Laura. It is 90mm longer and 45mm wider. Its 2686mm wheelbase is close to the VW Passat, and that helps improve one weakness of the Octavia. Now there is plenty of legroom, and there is no shortage of headroom either. The seats are soft and comfy, although under-thigh support could be a little bit better. At the front, the design is smart and safe, although it could do with some highlights for the Indian market. The plastics too lack that rich feel. Despite these shortcomings, the Octavia is sure to shake up the executive saloon market when it arrives in India later this year. It is expected to be powered by a 1.4-litre turbo petrol motor from the Jetta and a 2-litre diesel motor. Next, Audi grabbed some of our attention with their Q3. In fact, it is a very special Q car as it is the first to wear an RS badge. And why not? After all, it has 306 bhp from its 2.5-litre turbo petrol engine. I'm sure Q3 fans in India would love to get their hands on this stick of dynamite. But Audi India's Michael Porsche has different priorities.
So RS Q3 for me is probably not a focus subject. You have behind me the A3 Sportback. Make my priorities, of course, first of all, always you go for the diesel. Then you might have a normal petrol car. And probably before I decide for an electricity version like the e-tron, I would seriously consider a G-TRON. For a simple fact, we have more states, like Gujarat for example, who have some natural gas reserves. And also you have incentive levels like Bombay and Delhi, which are going to come up sooner or later with emission control, CO2 control like we have it in London today.
A CNG-equipped A3 is sure to get the Indian car buyers' attention. This car comes with storage for 7 kg of CNG in its 2 tanks. And this is then burnt by a 1.4-litre TFSI motor that provides 108 bhp of power and a range of 400 km. Mercedes has confirmed new products for 2013. Like the B-Class diesel, the new GL Class and the A-Class hatch. But there's another Mercedes that's ready to scorch the Indian market. So Mercedes has certainly got their mojo back and they're bringing it to India. 3 launches in the first half of the year, and that will then be followed by this facelifted E-Class in August. But if you ask me, this has to be the most exhaustive, comprehensive facelift. I have seen lots of changes on this car, and well, let's take a look to see what it's all about. The E-Class gets a completely new look that has to be called young and aggressive. There's a new organic look for the headlamps. There's a new grille and aggressive bumpers. Mercedes didn't stop at the plastic parts. There's lots of new sheet metal, like the hood and even the side panels. The pontoon line at the rear has been done away with for a more sporty look. On the inside, Mercedes hasn't played around with the design, and so the E-Class retains the same levels of space, comfort and elegance as before. Internationally, the E-Class now has an updated range of motors. The petrol range has a 2-litre turbo motor available in different states of tune. On the diesel front, there is a 2.1-litre diesel in different states of tune and a range-topping 3-litre V6 as is offered currently. Now the 5th car in the pipeline is this, the baby CLS or the Mercedes CLA. It's based on the MFA platform. Will slot above the A-Class, the B-Class and under the C-Class. But in terms of size, this is comparable with the current Gen C. The CLA is clearly a lot more appealing than the C-Class. It is a delicious swoopy package. The front end wears bold headlamps and the new grille is like a galaxy of stars. The roofline curls and crashes into a tightly packed and striking rear end. The CLA is in fact 40mm longer and 7mm wider than the C-Class. But it is also 43mm lower. And when you open those svelte, pillarless doors, it tells you what that means for the passengers inside. So So the CLA is meant to be a young, sporty car, and it feels like that on the inside. The cabin is very tightly wrapped, and here in the back seat, it hits you in one particular way. For instance, the headroom is a bit tight, and with the roof line, which gives it that sporty look, just cutting down like that, it eats into that sense of space because the window just tapers off like that. But that aside, you have good knee room, but the back seat is still best used by 2 passengers. So the rear will be best enjoyed by people who aren't fully grown adults. And the adults would enjoy being in the front seats, especially if they are on the right side of 30. The CLA has a very nice personal feel about it, feels sporty, very nice to sit inside, but at the same time very Mercedes in terms of quality that you get on the inside. The air con vents feel beautiful, the materials, the finishes on the steering wheel, everything just feels top-notch. The CLA shares its interiors and design with other cars on Mercedes' MFA platform, like the A-Class and B-Class. And that's certainly no bad thing. Just like the A and B Class, the CLA is also a front-wheel drive machine with transversely mounted motors, and will share the engine options when it is launched in India later this year. There was more hot news for India as I found at another stall at the Geneva Motor Show. So I'm here at the Volvo stall to take a look at the new facelifted models, 3 of which are very relevant to us: the S60, the XC60 and the S80. These models will be launched here in Europe later on in the year, and we can expect them in India a couple of months after that, which is around September. Volvo has tweaked the design of all 3 cars lightly. The S80 gets reprofiled bumpers and a tweaked grille. The XC60 and S60 also get the same changes while also doing away with their split headlamps.
Really wanted to give the car a Scandinavian touch and broaden it. Normally us Scandinavians are quite understated, and this has a more of an understated beauty and elegance of the car, with also trying to push the quality level.
Volvo has also introduced active high beam assist on these cars. This prevents blinding oncoming traffic or pedestrians at night. The Indian Volvos will offer paddle shifts on the steering wheel. Apart from this, there is more in store. Okay, so the interiors have been upgraded as well. You get an LCD screen as an option, of course, for the driver, and it changes color according to the mode you're in: comfort, sport or advanced. And then of course you also have a touch screen in the center, which is of course used for your music system, for your car setup. So quite nice. More features on offer now on the Volvo range. Chevrolet also had an update at their stall. The Captiva has had a mild makeover. It now features restyled fog lamps and new bumpers and grille. The most notable design change is at the rear. That's the new tail lamps. The Captiva also offers keyless entry and start now. When and if this update comes to India is not known yet. Tata also unveiled an updated ARIA at the Geneva Motor Show. It featured a lot of styling updates like a 2-tone paint job, headlamps with black inserts, daytime running lights, new tail lamp inserts, new 19-inch alloy wheels. This ARIA also featured tweaks to the ECU and a new turbo, which has helped bump up power to a solid 158 bhp and torque is up to 40.8 kilograms. This is then channelized through a new General Motors sourced 6-speed gearbox. You can expect the updated ARIA to be in Indian showrooms in the second half of 2013. What's caught our attention here at the SsangYong stall is this, the SIV1 concept. It gives us a sneak peek into the future as to what the SsangYongs then could look like. SIV stands for Smart Interface Vehicle. The concept from SsangYong has a bluff, square and high-waisted design. And this is likely to be seen on a future concept utility vehicle from SsangYong. The new design language is called Nature-Born 3 Motion. And for the SIV1, it aims to incorporate the best of different vehicle types for one complete crossover. ITALDESIGN also had something on their stall that was blurring boundaries. This concept is called PARCOUR as a homage to the urban sport from which it is inspired. And the PARCOUR concept is brilliant. It has a tough stance thanks to those chunky 22-inch wheels sitting in those squared-off wheel arches. And its SUV-like go-anywhere abilities are underlined by ground clearance that can be adjusted from 210mm to 330mm, all thanks to a special hydraulic suspension setup. On the other hand, its sports car credentials are supported by its Lamborghini-sourced 542 bhp rear mid-mounted V10. And although this two-seater is a design study, there's no doubt it has immense potential, at least in India. Exactly 2 years back, Alfa Romeo had showed off the 4C concept at the Geneva Motor Show. And this year, it was the turn of the production version car to be showcased. In terms of styling, the 4C is almost identical to the concept. The notable difference is the headlamp, which is quite ugly in my opinion. The 4C name is based on the car's 4-cylinder motor. This 1.75-litre direct injection turbo petrol motor will come mated to a 6-speed twin-clutch transmission. Its 0 to 100 performance is expected to be in the range of 4.5 seconds. This is all thanks to the 4C's low curb weight, which is said to be below 1,000 kilos. This is because of its supercar-like carbon fiber construction and ultra-compact proportions. The 4C is sure to be a thriller. Chevrolet tried to woo the European crowd with this, the Corvette Stingray convertible. This 450 horsepower American muscle car dropped its top for the very first time in Geneva. It also features more luxurious interiors and of course its improved dynamics will appeal to buyers in Europe. Meanwhile, Bentley has given the Continental Flying Spur an extensive makeover. Although it is based on the same platform as the earlier Flying Spur, this car is said to be 80% new. Its styling is stronger and lines sharper, although the rear looks a bit blunt. A 0 to 100 time of 4.6 seconds is amazing for a 2.5-ton machine. It's also capable of hitting a top speed of 322 km an hour. This is all the more impressive as Bentley claimed to have made the Flying Spur all the more comfortable and calmer on the inside. While Porsche unveiled the new 911 GT3 in Geneva, what's sure to come to India is the new Cayman. Porsche has aggressive plans for the Indian market, with many variants in the pipeline.
Our aim is by the end of this year we will have either 10 or 12 new dealers potentially. We're building full Porsche CI facilities, so as you would anywhere in Europe, you'll recognise them immediately as Porsche facilities. The model range is increasing. We've started homologation. We've now concluded the homologation of the Cayenne hybrid, so our efforts into India will definitely be at full speed. You know, our brand year after year has always performed well, even after duty increases. So we're hoping and we're remaining optimistic that whilst it hasn't done us the world of good, it won't have done us too much harm.
But there are no such worries for Lamborghini's latest, because this 21 crore supercar is already sold out. This is Lamborghini's latest and quite clearly the maddest car yet. This is the Veneno. It's based on the Aventador, but it's a race car for the road. What's special about it? I think it's the name itself, Veneno. It's named after a bull, as Lamborghinis usually are, but in this case, this is a bull that killed a matador. And I think that sets the tone as far as the car is concerned. There's more menace to the Veneno than just in the name. It looks like a Batman movie-inspired Le Mans racer. The bodywork is littered with slots to bend airflow to the Veneno's will, like the front end, which works like one big wing. The wheels have fairings to lower turbulence, and there's lots more cooling for the engine too. At the rear there is a massive 3-stage wing, and the center vane adds stability when braking. And well, the diffuser, it looks completely insane. All the bodywork is made from carbon fiber. As a result, the Veneno is 125 kilos lighter than the Aventador. The carbon fiber tub from the Aventador has also been strengthened to cope with the higher performance. After all, the 6.5-litre motor now develops an additional 50 horsepower. That means the total bhp count is up to 740. This car is worryingly fast, claiming to do a 0 to 100 in 2.8 seconds. We got chatting with Maurizio Reggiani, Lamborghini's Director of Research and Development, and we started talking about their upcoming SUV, the Urus.
It's clear that for an SUV like the Urus, we must to use something that coming from platform point of view from the group, to use all the expertise of the group, but trying to characterizing the group with the DNA of Lamborghini, and these are mainly related to the driving experience and the performance of the car. Our target is to be in production before the end of 2017.
From far away, you can spot that the crowds are gathering at one particular stall, all pointing inwards, clicking away at one particular car. Which one? Well, you can't make out until you step inside, and that's when you realize it's this, the LaFerrari. I mean, the name's not too hot, honestly, it's not here nor there, but when you look at the car, you realize it's all good. LaFerrari has been designed in-house at Maranello. It is as expected, flamboyant and head-turning, but it doesn't feel as dramatic as the Enzo. Its design has been dictated by the wind tunnel and Formula One. The front splitter looks like the wing of a Formula One car, and there are vents to funnel air over the car, around the wheels and into the engine. At the rear there is a retractable wing that adds to the downforce at higher speeds. The Ferrari is powered by a heavily reworked version of the F12's 6.3-litre V12 motor. It produces 789 bhp of shock. It also has an electric motor for an additional 161 bhp of boost. The Ferrari can't be driven in an electric-only mode. With a combined might of petrol and electric power, LaFerrari will accelerate from 0 to 100 in under 3 seconds. And it can accelerate to 300 km an hour in 15.5 seconds. That's just a little off the Bugatti Veyron's time. But LaFerrari's top speed isn't going to cross into the 400s. The LaFerrari, it's made me go quick in my knees. And then you have the petrol-electric hybrid powertrain here. That's going to be powering my dreams for a long time to come, because I don't know when I'm going to get an opportunity, if ever, to drive LaFerrari. And when it comes, I'll be a happy man. Until then, carry on dreaming. Time to sign off from Geneva Motor Show 2013. Ciao.